Hello and welcome to another episode of Questions from the Comments section, where I take a question that I've been asked in the comments and answer it here. So today, a lot of these questions, I should say, that I'm trying to answer here are particularly aimed at new fountain pen users, because I think while there is a lot of information around, sometimes targeted quick answer stuff can be really helpful. So today's question is, what are the main filling types for fountain pens? And I was asked, what are the main filling types and what are the advantages of each? And so what I thought I would cover today is just basically show what the filling type is, and then what I think is the biggest selling point of that filling type. So let's start with the most common filling type of fountain pen, and that is the cartridge converter pen. A lot of pens are cartridge converted. This is an Esterbrook, there we are, Esterbrook Camden. This uses a standard international cartridge and converter. So standard international basically means there's one type that a whole lot of brands use, and then there are sort of more specialized brands like Pilot and Lamy and Aurora and Parker, who all use their own, and a multitude of others use their own proprietary cartridges and converters. But this is a standard international. Cartridge converter basically means it can take an ink cartridge like this, which is just a standard short ink cartridge, or this, which is a converter that is filled by putting that into a bottle of ink to where the breathing hole there, and then operating the knob on the end there to raise and drop the piston, and as you pull it up while it's in the ink, it draws ink up into the pen, giving you a fill. Now, what is the biggest selling point for me with this filling type? Convenience, both across the converter and the cartridge. Cartridges are very convenient, although you do have to realize this is plastic that you are, and if you're using it as a disposable method. But the convenience with the converter is the fact that filling is easy, it's easy to clean, and there are, because it is standard international, if that's the route you go, there is a large range of brands that cover that. Okay, second filling system. Probably the second most common in a lot of pens is the piston filling mechanism. Here I have a TWSBI Eco, which is a piston filling pen. Basically, it works the same as that little card converter, where you twist the knob and it pulls ink up, except this one is completely built into the pen. So the knob is on the end of the pen, and as you twist it, it pulls ink up into the pen, as said, submerged in a bottle of ink. Whereas as I said, the cartridge converter can come out of the pen in something like the TWSBI or a range of other brands that use this. And generally, these come on a lot of expensive pens, but there are a lot of less expensive pens, and TWSBI was a groundbreaker in this, that use this method, and it gives you a great ink capacity. And that's probably the best selling point for me, is the ink capacity that you get from a piston filling pen, because you are getting a lot of ink. It's all maintained within the pen. You can, something like the TWSBI, you can take apart and maintain the actual mechanism itself. But that is the piston filling fountain pen. There are a range of different sorts of pistons. There's spring-loaded ones like the TWSBI Go, but that's sort of like the standard, if you will. The next is sort of a variation, I suppose, on the piston filling pen. It's a vacuum filling pen, and it works the same as having a piston in the pen that you operate by pushing and pulling a knob there, like a rod. Once again, you submerge that into this is the TWSBI VAC 700R. You submerge the nib in a bottle of ink, and then as you push that down, it pushes air out, pushes air out the pen, creating a vacuum behind the plunger. And then as you might be able to see, it flares out ever so slightly just there. And once it hits that point, it opens up, you get the little pop, and the suction is broken behind the plunger there and draws ink up into the pen. it's a fun filling system. I really like it. And the biggest selling point, once again, as is with a lot of these, is the capacity. It also, with a lot of these pens, you can close off that valve, which shuts off this part of the pen, which means that you can travel more easily. If you're flying, it's a great pen for that purpose, because a lot of the problem with a lot of fountain pens when you fly is that the air pressure changes around it and ink comes out, So you're actually locking off a lot of the ink, so that's not going to happen. Now onto the last filling system, which is one of the most traditional and a lot of people's favorite. It is huge in capacity depending on the pen, and particularly with this pen. This is the Gamma Jumbo Acrylic, and the filling system is an eyedropper filling system. And basically what you do is you take the nib and section off, depends on needs cleaning, off the top there. Lots of screws, which is good with lots of threads there, which is great with an eyedropper filling pen. And then you take an eyedropper, or like a blunt syringe like I have here, and you fill that up with bottled ink, and then fill it up into the back body of the pen, which means that, particularly on this pen, which is huge, you get a massive ink capacity with an eyedropper pen. And I think it's a really useful method for people who use a lot of ink, who don't like to change their inks super regularly. It's a fairly easy method to clean. You just have to rinse out the barrel of the pen, and then of course flush the nib and section like you would with any other filling system as well. But this one is, it's convenient and it gives you a good ink capacity. The pitfall, of course, is that they are probably one of the more prone to leaking and burping, simply because of the style of filling. So that was the four main filling systems I wanted to show you today: the cartridge converter, the piston filler, the vac filler, and then the eyedropper. These are all found on multiple different brands and styles of pen, and there are many other kinds of filling system as well, but these are the ones I wanted to show today as sort of the main ones. If you're just getting into fountain pens, these are some that you will come across at all price points. You will find pens that fit these filling systems. So I hope you found this video interesting and useful. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notifications button if you want to stay up to date with the videos that I produce. Please feel free to get in touch using any of the platforms listed below. You can find me on Instagram or Twitter at @the_offstage_me, or you can contact me in any of my videos here. If you drop me a question in one of these videos, I will try and answer it in a future video. Or if you want to get in touch with me directly, as I said, you can do that with the platforms listed below. If you'd like to support the channel or sponsor a review by providing an item, or whatever method you'd like to do, get in touch and let's see what we can do. In the meantime, enjoy your pens, however they may feel, and I will talk to you soon.